All right, guys, are there any questions over the homework assignment? Questions over the homework assignment from yesterday? Okay.
Seven, 8, 9, and 10. Can you show how to do
So
one of
it's
them?
so it's going to be based off the theorems. Do we have enough information from the theorems, either the angle bisector theorem or the perpendicular bisector theorem, to show that it's true? So it's mainly going to be yes, no.
So that's all we put is yes or no?
Yeah, and then it's just really based off the theorem, but yeah, yes or no. Yeah, so can we say that point P is is on the perpendicular bisector? Yes, because since n is equidistant from the 2 points on the line, therefore it is a perpendicular bisector.
Thank you.
Because it's just asking yes or no, is it on the perpendicular bisector? Yeah. So that would be no. No. All right, guys, so we're looking at 6.2 today, 6.2. Now, the first theorem that we have with 6.2 is the circumcenter theorem. Guys, up here. So circumcenter theorem, the circumcenter of a triangle is equidistant from the vertices of a triangle. So here, since point P is the circumcenter, that means the distance from it to the angles is going to be the same. So the distance from P to B, P to A, and P to C are all the same. So if we're given the circumcenter, the distance from that point to the angles is the same. If PF, PD, and PE are all perpendicular. So PD, so if all these form a right angle, and perpendicular bisectors, then PA, PB, PC are all going to be congruent. Questions on this so far? So if we're looking at this here, the perpendicular bisector of A, B, and C intersect at point G. The angle bisectors of, so the other one. So here we have the perpendicular bisectors. Find the indicated measure to tell which theorem you use. So we're looking for the length of B to G. So A, B, C, so these are perpendicular bisectors at the intersection. So these here do form right angles. So we have a circumcenter, which means the length from that point to the angles are going to be the same. So that means these three are all the same, which means AG is 9 and BG is 9. Questions on this here? With the circumcenter, the distance from that point to the angles are the same. So these are all 9. Well, all the ones from that point to the angle. So AG, GC, and BG are all the same. These here would not be 9. They have a different value. Now this here would be 8. And we could go about finding the length of this here, but that would not be 9. It would be less than 7. Because the exact value for it would be square root of 17 would be the value. Any other questions on this here? So we're looking at the same type triangle, so this is still the circumcenter, and we want to find the length of AG. Since it's a circumcenter, the distance from it to the angles are all going to be the, so AG is 13.5 because AG is going to be the same as AC, which is the same as, not AC, sorry. It is GC, which is the same as BG. Because the distance from the circumcenter to the point, or the angles, is all going to be the same. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
On BG, how is it not 10.5?
It's connected to this one here. Yeah. You're good? Any other questions on this one here? We ready for the next one? Incenter. The incenter of a triangle is equidistant from the sides. So if we're talking about an incenter, so point P here is the incenter. So that means the distance from it to the sides of the triangle are congruent. Circumcenter is from that point to the angles. Incenter is from the point to the sides. So if we look at this one here, our next one, so we're told that this here is the incenter, because the incenter is the angle bisector, because the incenter of a triangle is equidistant from the sides. So if these three line segments are angle bisectors, where they meet is the incenter. So it means the distance from the sides to this point are congruent. So since UP is 2, PS is 2, and TP would be 2. So here we can say that PS is 2. Distance from the point to the sides is the same. I think the got out of order. Yeah, I need to go back and fix that. Questions? Pages out of order? Okay. Are you ready for the next one? Possibly? Now I think they're going to probably be back in order. Let's look at this one here. In the figure shown, ND is 5x minus 1. NE is 2x plus 11. Find the length of NF. Well, we know that they're all equal to each other, so we can set x plus 11 because point N is the incenter, so these lengths are congruent. This helps us because now we can find the value of x, plug it back in to solve for the length. So the first thing we can do is we can add 1 to both sides. And if we add 1 to both sides, it'll tell us that 5x, 2x plus 12. Then we can subtract 2x from both sides, which will tell us 3x is equal to 12. And last but not least, we would divide by 3 minus x is 4. Plug it back in. Which one do we want to plug it back into? So we can say 5 times x minus 1. Well, 5 times 4 is, minus 1 is, so the length of NF is 19. Because we could have done 2 times 4 plus 11, which would be 8 plus 11, which is still 19. Any other questions on this here? We good with these here? So we found NF is 19. Can NG be equal to 18. So we said NF is 19. This is 19. This is 19. And their question is, can NG, this length here, be 18? A right angle there. What shape do we have here? Right triangle. So this is 90, yes? Those other two angles, can they be greater than 90? No. Is there any way for that to be 18? Because this here should be the biggest side. No. Yep.
One side is a number. How are you knowing that all the other ones are also that same number?
This here, so because of the triangle, these are all angle bisectors. So this here is in center. So these three sides have to be the same length. The incenter of a triangle is equidistant from the equidistant. Equidistance. And part of the reason is also it's angle bisector. So if we know that these bisect the angle, it's also telling us that they are, that this here is an incenter. Incenter means that it's equidistant from the sides. So here, this one here is still an incenter. Angle bisector, so it's equidistant from the sides of the triangle. So it means, since we know that NF in the last one, this is still the same triangle, was 19. These three have to be 19. Now the next part of this that it's asking is, can this NG be 18? Well, if this length is 19, that has to be longer than it for it to work out. So no. Okay. Let's look at this one here. P is the incenter. So they tell us point P is the incenter of this figure, which means the distance from it to the sides of the triangle are going to be congruent. They're going to be the same. If it was circumcenter, it'd be from that point to the angles. They tell us that PJ is 4x minus 8. PL is x plus 7. And we want to find the length of PK. If we know that all three lengths are the same, they're equal, well, we can set the two that we know, 4x minus 8, equal to x plus 7, and solve for the value of x. And once we find the value of x, we can plug it back in. So the first thing we can do is almost add 8, yes, to both sides, which will tell us that 4x is equal to x plus 15. And then we would minus x from both sides, telling us that 3x is equal to 15. Divide both sides by 3, telling us x is now, we can pick which one we plug it into, because we can say 5 plus 7, which is, or we can say 4 times 5 minus 8. 4 times 5 is, minus 8 is still, so PK is 12. Questions on any of this here? Yes. That clock is not right. Questions on this here? All right. So this here is still the n center. So Pn is 6x plus 2. Pm is 8x minus 14. And we want to find the length of PL. Well, we know that all three of these are congruent, so we can set them equal to each other. 8x minus 14 is equal to 6x plus 2. Now we just need to solve. Well, we can add 14 to both sides, which will tell us that 8x is equal to 6x plus 16. At this point here, we can subtract 6x from both sides, which will tell us that 2x is equal to 16. And last but not least, we can divide both sides by 2, telling us x is equal to 8. And last but not least, we can plug it back in. So we can say 6 times 8 plus 2. So PL is 50. Any questions on any of this here? So, well, it might be helpful to write the assignment down. 3 through 6 and 11 through 16.